All right, let's talk about something that feels like it's been pulled straight from a sci-fi movie, but it's getting closer to reality every single day. We're talking about digital immortality.
But look, this isn't just a tech talk. This gets personal, fast. I mean, what if an AI could let you live forever? A digital version of you? The big question is, would that even be you? You know, what's wild is that this desire to live forever, it's not new at all. It's one of the oldest stories we have. I mean, think about it. We've been telling stories about this for thousands of years, from the Epic of Gilgamesh all the way to the Fountain of Youth. The only thing that's changed is what we're looking for. It's not magic water anymore. Today, the hunt is on for data, for algorithms, for AI.
Okay, so how on earth would this actually work? Because it's not magic, right? It's an absolutely massive engineering challenge. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of how you'd even begin to digitize a mind.
The big idea here is a concept called whole brain emulation. And the goal? Well, it's incredibly ambitious. You're trying to make a software model so ridiculously detailed that it doesn't just act like the original brain, it is the brain. It would think, feel, and remember exactly like you.
And hey, this isn't just a bunch of hand-waving and theories. People are already drawing up the blueprints for this stuff. Take this flowchart, for instance. I know, it looks kind of complicated, but the basic idea is pretty straightforward. Take a lifetime of data and turn it into a living, breathing, digital person. Let's break down how they do it.
So step one is just data, tons of it. Everything that makes you, you. Your emails, texts, social media posts, even voice recordings. Next, you have to build a memory, basically a giant searchable database of your entire life. Then comes the personality. You'd train a chat engine, something like GPT, on all that data until it talks just like you. And the final touch? A custom voice engine, so it sounds exactly like you. You put all those pieces together, and you get a digital you.
Okay, so we've got a roadmap. We can see how the tech could work. But this is where we hit the massive, mind-bending paradox at the heart of all of this. If you build a perfect digital copy, is that copy actually you?
This right here is the core of the whole philosophical fight. It's called the multiplicity objection. And it goes like this. If the tech can make one copy of you, it can make 1,000,000 copies of you, right? But you can only be one person. So the argument is, since you can't split into 1,000,000 versions of yourself, you can't survive even one upload. The thing that wakes up in the computer, well, it's just not you.
Basically, this whole debate splits people right down the middle. You've got the optimists who say, yep, that digital version is a genuine continuation of you. Your consciousness survives. And then you have the pessimists. They say, no way, it's just a fancy copy, a ghost in the machine. Your original consciousness is gone forever, and this thing just thinks it's you because it has your memories. Okay, to bring this down to earth, here's a question people love to throw around in these debates. Think about when you go to sleep. Your consciousness just turns off, right? So is the person who wakes up the next morning the exact same you, or is it a brand new consciousness that just happens to have all your memories? It's basically the same puzzle, this puzzle of continuity, just happening every single night. All right, let's put a pin in that whole philosophical brain melter for a second and talk about something really practical. A huge dilemma. If we're really going to do this, who goes first? Who is the very first person we upload?
And believe me, the stakes here are astronomically high. We're not just talking about creating a digital person. This first uploaded mind would have access to basically infinite computing power. It would almost certainly become a superintelligence, and its personality, its core values, that could set the entire course for the future of AI and maybe the future of all of us.
So, what are we looking for in a candidate? What's on the job description? Well, researchers are already thinking about this, and they've zeroed in on some key values. First, benevolence, a genuine desire to help others. Then, self-direction, the ability to think for yourself. And finally, universalism, a real tolerance and appreciation for all people. And look, these aren't just feel-good words. These are being treated as critical, foundational safety features for this new AI. And the list of whom not to upload is just as important. It's a list of absolute no-goes. Anyone with significant brain trauma is out. Same for certain psychological disorders, like narcissism or antisocial personality disorder. Obviously, anyone convicted of a violent crime. And this one is key. None of the project researchers or their close family can be candidates. That's to prevent any kind of bias. The selection process would have to be airtight. So when you step back and look at the big picture, what does all this mean? We are seriously starting to think about moving beyond our biological selves into something
new, something digital. And this technology is forcing us to question everything we thought we knew about what it means to be alive.
And that means we have to ask ourselves a really tough question. Is this whole incredible, futuristic quest really about evolving as a species? Or are we just building the world's most complicated machine to help us run away from the fact that we're all scared of dying?
And then there's the money question, right? The fairness question. When this tech actually gets here, who's it for? Is digital immortality something for everyone, a new chapter for humanity? Or is it going to be the ultimate perk for the super rich, creating a world where some people get to live forever and others don't? At the end of the day, here's what it all comes down to. The biggest hurdles here aren't technical. They're not about code or processing power. The real challenges are philosophical. They're about what it means to be human. What is consciousness? And what part of us is so important that it deserves to last forever?
So, I'll leave you with this to chew on. Imagine a perfect digital copy of you is out there. It has all your memories, all your weird little quirks. It loves your family just as much as you do. And it keeps living and learning and growing long after your physical body is gone. So, is your death still the end? Or did you just move?